She did everything right. Busy road, phone in hand, boyfriend on the line, less than a mile from home, but none of it mattered because the man who stopped her was wearing a badge and she never came home. This is the story of Sarah Everard, 33 years old, a marketing executive living in London, kind, cautious, careful. She was walking home from a friend's house on a Wednesday night, a completely ordinary Wednesday night, and the man who took her was a serving police officer. This is the case that changed everything. Sarah had built a good life. She studied at Durham University, moved to London, built a career she was proud of. By 2021, she was living in Brixton Hill, a bright, busy part of South London. She had a boyfriend named Josh. Close friends, weekend plans, a future she was quietly putting together. On the evening of March 3rd, 2021, she went to a friend's house near Clapham Junction for dinner. Before she left, she stopped at a Sainsbury, picked a bottle of wine, set off home on foot just after 9 p.m. She called Josh on the way. They talked for 15 minutes, made plans for the next day. It was just another Wednesday, but behind that ordinary evening, something was already in motion. Wayne Couzens has been a police officer for 3 years, was assigned to guard the US Embassy in London, trusted, armed, in uniform. But behind that uniform, there were warnings, reports of indecent exposure going back years, complaints filed, investigations opened, and nothing done. And it gets worse. 3 days before he murdered Sarah Everard, Couzens exposed himself to a female employee at a drive-thru in Kent. She reported it and nothing happened. He finished his shift at the US Embassy on the morning of March 3rd, went home, and then he went hunting. At 9:28 p.m, Sarah was caught on CCTV walking along Cavendish Road, alone, 4 minutes from the next road, less than a mile from home. Then at 9:35 p.m, a bus camera picked up something. A white hire car on Poinders Road, hazard lights on, parked on the pavement. 2 figures standing beside it. One was Sarah, the other was Wayne Couzens. He had shown her his police identification, told her she had violated COVID lockdown rules, told her she was under arrest. He placed her in handcuffs and Sarah believed him. Why wouldn't she? He was a police officer. She had no reason to think otherwise. She got into the car and just like that, she was gone. Couzens drove through the night, out of London, through the dark, 80 miles from everything Sarah knew. He transferred her into his own car near Dover, drove her to a remote wooded area, and there, in total darkness, he raped her, he murdered her, he used his own police belt to strangle her. Then he burned the body, burned her belongings, bought rubble bags from the hardware store, placed her remains inside, and hid them in a pond in a woodland in Kent. Then he returned home, reported for work the next day, complained of stress. Back in London, Josh was waiting. No call, no text, no Sarah. By the evening of March 4th, he reported her missing. The Metropolitan Police launched a missing persons investigation. Posters of Sarah went up across South London. Women across the country began sharing their own stories, but investigators were already looking at something closer. CCTV from the night of March 3rd showed a white Vauxhall on Poinders Road. Right there, right at the moment Sarah disappeared, the car had been hired, and the name on the hire agreement was Wayne Couzens, a serving Metropolitan Police officer. And that's when everything changed. On March 9th, 6 days after Sarah vanished, officers arrived at his home in Kent. He came to the door. He had already wiped his phone. He told them he had no idea who Sarah Everard was. Then he said he had been blackmailed by an Eastern European gang, forced to abduct her. Nobody believed a word of it. He was arrested on the spot, and on the next day, his own colleagues went into the woods. Search teams moved through Holds Wood in Kent. Dense trees, overgrown ground, silence. Then, about 100 meters from the plot of land where Couzens himself owned, they found a large builder's bag. They opened it, and what was inside broke everyone who was there. On March 12th, those remains were formally identified. It was Sarah, the woman who had been taken from the busy road, who had stayed on the phone, who had trusted a badge. She was 33 years old. Wayne Couzens was charged with kidnap and murder, then rape, then murder again when he finally admitted it all. On September 30th, 2021, he stood before the Old Bailey. The judge looked down at him and said words the world needed to hear. He told Couzens that he had long planned a violent sexual assault on a woman he had not yet chosen. Then he used his police powers to deceive her. That what he did placed him in the same category as terrorists. When Couzens received a whole life order, no parole, no release, he will die in prison. But then investigators looked deeper, and what they found made everything worse. Complaints about Couzens going back decades, multiple police forces, multiple warnings, all ignored. He should never have been given a badge, and Sarah Everard should still be alive. The night after Sarah's remains were found, thousands of women gathered at Clapham Common. Flowers, candles, silence. Then the Metropolitan Police moved in and arrested 4 women for breaching COVID rules. The images went around the world. Sarah's mother, Susan, sat in that courtroom and said, "I go through the terrible sequence of events. I wonder when she realized she was in mortal danger." More than a dozen Met police officers were found to have shared vile and misogynistic messages about Couzens. The Met commissioner resigned, and women across Britain kept asking the same question they are still asking today. If we cannot trust the police, why do we call? Sarah Everard walked home on a Wednesday night. She took every precaution, every single one, and she was still taking, because the danger did not come from the dark alleyway. It came from a man with a badge, a man with the power to make her believe she had no choice, and a system that handed him that particular power, despite every warning that this case really is not just the story of one man's evil, but the story of every ignored complaint, every dismissed warning, every woman who reported something and was told it was fine. Sarah Everard deserved to make it home. This has been Verdict After Dark. Subscribe, because next week the truth gets even darker.